Welcome back to All Things with Allah. I am Allah. Today we are making shuba, heron salad. If you translate shuba into English, it's fur coat. So we're making fur coat salad. This is my absolute favorite. I tend to do it different every time, but anytime I do it, doesn't matter how, it is amazing. If you don't like heron, skip the heron. My husband doesn't. When I make it just for him, I don't do heron. I just do the potato, the eggs, and the beets, and the carrots, and obviously mayonnaise. But that's it. So you totally can skip parts that you might not like, and it's still going to be amazing. The only thing I do recommend is if you're doing thin layers, don't do mayonnaise in between each layer. But if you're doing like thick layers like this, then you can do mayonnaise between each layer. Don't forget to season. Isn't she pretty? She's heavy. Ooh. All right, let's get started. Let me show you how we got to this. If you are new, welcome. I'm so happy you are here. Please don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss my other videos. Let's do this. Our beets take a long time to cook, and I mean a long time to cook. I just put them on there, throw them in. I have 10 beets in here, and let them cook. I check probably about an hour with my wooden skewer to see if it goes in and goes out real quick. But you have to watch them because the water does evaporate. So it does happen where I have to add water in there constantly when it's evaporating. But right now they're cooking and it takes a while. We cooked our eggs. I will link in the description how I cooked perfect eggs. I have ice in here because I didn't do these perfect, but they should be fine as well. I was busy making something else and ignored the fact that they were boiling. So I wanted to stop the cooking right away, so I added ice in there. And then on our stovetop over there, we have our potatoes cooking, and I'm about to put our carrots to cook. So you have to cook all your vegetables. How I check if my vegetables are done cooking. So I'll put a skewer in. If it goes in super easy, it doesn't have to come out super easy, but it does need to go in super easy. So this one went in pretty easy, like I didn't have to. So they're done. I'm gonna check my potatoes. Same thing, they're done. In fact, they even cracked, so they're very much done. Also done. Awesome. So you just want them to go in. I cut the beets end to end, wash them and cook them. I don't peel them. I cook them in the peel. But this has been cooking for about an hour. So we're gonna shut that off and drain it, including all the other vegetables, and let them completely cool off. I transfer them to a different bowl, so those bowls are not hot and I didn't have time to wash them and so on, so they cool off faster. But basically they're just gonna sit there for a few hours. You want them completely cooled off. All of our ingredients are cooling off nicely. They're like room temperature about, but I know the inside is not, so I can feel it. They're like a little bit warm. So I'm gonna put them actually in the refrigerator now. So it comes to like cold room temperature. I guess I should say it needs to be cold room temperature. And while I'm gonna put them in the refrigerator, probably for about a half an hour. I don't think longer than that. The eggs are fine, but these things, I'm gonna peel them and then put them in the refrigerator. Carrots are peeled, but the potatoes need to get peeled and the beets need to get peeled. And then this heron, I hope I'm saying it right, is my absolute favorite to use for this salad. There's different kinds and I use a lot. I like a lot. I love this stuff. I will eat it straight out of the can. I know some of you are probably like, that is the most disgusting thing. Well, what am I gonna tell you? Those are my taste bites. What I'm going to do is I'm gonna take the heron and I put it normally over a paper towel. I wanna dry it out. I don't want it to be very moist in this juice that it's in, or liquid, whatever whatever it is. So I'm gonna put it over a paper towel, maybe even over a strainer. I think I'm gonna do a strainer. Yeah, that seemed to work best last time too. So strainer. We are keeping the onion and everything that's in there. We're just getting rid of the liquid. I wanted to show you that the beets should peel just like that. Like, think of yourself peeling off, I don't know, skin, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. Just, you're peeling it off. Simple as that. And if you forgot to peel your carrots before you cooked them, it's the same thing. It just peels off just like this. And then your potato, again, same thing. You're just basically peeling it off. And if you have any kind of like icky stuff, you cut it off. You're almost like scraping while you're peeling. When it comes to the potato, it just makes it go quicker and easier. Now comes the fun part, the assembly. Now, here's what I'll say. I only like to use this particular brand for this salad. And then we have our garlic salt. If you don't like garlic, just regular salt, pepper, and a little bit of regular salt as well. This particular brand, this garlic salt, is with sea salt, and I just feel like it needs a little bit more salt. And then you can do it, like I'm gonna do this just because it's easier for me to store and it's gonna be easier for me to transport because we're taking this to my mom's house. But you can do it in a spring pan. If you do it in a spring pan, you know, one of those pans that you pop out, you use cheesecakes for. I don't know where mine went. Oh, I do remember. Done it in this before, but I don't like it because it's not like high enough. So I really like this because it's high enough so I can get lots of nice layers. But if you do it in something like this, it looks cool because you'll line this with saran wrap and then do your salad, and then when you're done, let it obviously get in the refrigerator at least a few hours. You pop it out and then you can see all the layers. Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's cool. I've done it before, but I really like this bowl. It's easier to transport. You can still see all the layers. It's clear, it's nice. This is plastic. I love it. Easy peasy. First, we're gonna put the herring on the bottom. As is. So we just basically, ooh, I didn't know I had some liquid in there. Let me drain this. And then get yourself a wet rag. I always like to work with a wet rag. I don't know, it just helps me to keep myself clean. So if you hate touching it, get a spoon. I'm just layering the bottom. And then, so I forgot to open my little one and dump it in there, so I'm gonna do that now. So it's one full and then one little one. And now we're just gonna shred layer by layer and then add our mayonnaise and then just go layer by layer. I will do my best to put it in the description, but honestly I don't think it really matters which layer you do. Some people do different layers than I do. This is just how I do it. Absolutely love it, and I think it's amazing. I do not put mayonnaise on here. I go with the potato because I feel like this is, you know, has enough of the juice from the, yes, 10 inches. So this is 10 inches. And then how deep is this? Let's see. 4.5. Yeah, 4.5. 4.5 deep, 10 inches going across. I think this is gonna be perfect. I bought this bowl especially for the salad, so I'm excited to use it. Yeah, let's get started. So we put the herring on, I pressed it down a little bit, and then we're gonna put the potatoes, shred the potatoes over it. Now, what I will say that it does, I don't think it really matters exactly what order you go in, but this is the order I go in and it works for me. I want to make sure you guys can see. We're going to use this shredder. So not the tiny little one, but this one right here. And I just go right over it, you guys, just like this. You want to pat it down on the edges and in the center because you're trying to make nice layers. So I did half of the potatoes on this layer. You're just going to get a spoon and level it out. Spread it out, I should say. You just want to do like a light coat of the mayonnaise, not like thick like that, no. Only just to cover the potatoes. So like that. Now we're gonna sprinkle our seasoning right on top. And then a little bit of pepper. And then a little bit of salt. Salt I did just a little bit because this has salt in it, but I feel like it doesn't have enough. Okay, next I do carrots. Going for half, half, half. Half of your potato, half of your carrots. Pat it down, especially around the edges, so it has a nice even line. Okay, now I'm gonna do beets. No mayonnaise. Same thing, spread out our beets. Ugh, they smell so good. I love beets, so good. Now we're gonna put the mayonnaise on. So I'm doing it, I don't even know how to, probably like 2, maybe, this looks like 1 cup to me. Could be wrong, but it looks like 1 cup. But it depends on your dish, so you have to kind of eyeball it and see how big your dish is. We're not putting a thick layer, just a thin layer, just cutting it, coating it. Think of like frosting a cake. Oh, just be gentle. Don't rush like I'm rushing. I find the spoon method works the best for me. Now I want to have nice definition in my layer, so I'm actually going to get a napkin and wipe the edges off. Much better. Eggs are next. Oh no, seasoning. See, I'm not even thinking, and I've done that before. Forget to season. Now eggs. Yep. Okay, so pat our eggs down gently. Eggs are dry, so we're gonna put a tiny layering of mayonnaise over this before we put the potatoes on top. Just gently. This is where it gets a little tricky because it wants to pick up the eggs. On this part, I'm gonna do only a little bit of the garlic, just because we just seasoned it a layer down. Now we're gonna do the rest of our potatoes. I put a little too much, so I'm just scraping it off. Because like I said, you're only covering it, you're not putting a thick coat on it. And then I'm gonna wipe down my sides again. Seasoning. Carrots. Wash my hands, do the eggs. And I know it's not the same like before we did, like right now I should have done beets, but I like to top mine off with beets because then it doesn't dry out as much. So that's why now I do carrot or the eggs. This is gonna get tricky. Bowl's not deep enough. I always do this, but it is what it is. It's all right. I've done in the past too, like I'll make only like 2 layers and I'll do it in a box like this. And then we can just have it for lunch. Just take a whole box. Like I will eat that whole thing in a heartbeat. Beautiful layers. That is what we want. Now figure out how we're gonna do these beets on top. I always do this, you guys. Like, this is always an issue for me that I make it too much. But I like the deep layers, so I need to find a deeper one. That's gonna be my solution. I like to do at least 2 layers, not just one. The only, like, if I did 1, this would be fine, but I like to do 2. Ugh, and I forgot the seasoning. Yeah. Okay, put this back, put this back. Spread it out so it's not like in a clump. Okay, this hand's clean. I'm so concerned about my layers that I forgot my seasoning. It's much harder with the left hand. Oh boy, why would I close that? Okay, back to it. That happens. Little disclaimer, I've never done it in this bowl. I bought it especially for this salad. I usually do it in here and it seems to work out, but I always have this issue. And you're like, well, get a recipe and follow a recipe. No, that's too much work. I just go with the flow. But I think it looks great. Ta-da! And it's done just like that, right? That took like 6 hours with the cooking and the cooling and running errands in between. But it should probably take you about 3 hours, just because you want to completely cool your ingredients, your eggs, carrots, potatoes, beets, all that stuff. And they take a while to cook. But this is what mine looks like. I will put some parsley and some greenery on top just to give it a little bit of greenery. A lot of people decorate it really pretty with like eggs and carrots and all that stuff. I've done that, but I'm not gonna do it. Today is Saturday. This is gonna be served on Monday. Tomorrow's Sunday and I don't wanna serve it. I don't wanna be working on it, I meant to say, on Sunday. So I did it today. It is fine. It will be delicious. I actually like it when it sits for a few days. So there you go. Let me know in the comments what you think. If you have any questions, I will definitely answer them as best as I can. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy. Don't forget to hit the like button if you enjoyed the video as well and you found it helpful. But honestly, I think it doesn't really matter how the layers are done, which order, as long as you start with herring and then potato, and the rest is whatever floats your boat. Season your mayonnaise. Don't mayonnaise in between each layer. Too much mayonnaise. Unless you're doing like 3 really big layers, then you can. But I like to do small layers. So that's kind of why I do it the way I do it. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it works out for you. Till next time, have a blessed day.